Don't worry about that. Just totally normal. We have found nothing. This is bad. I realize I've done +1. I needed to do -1. I've soiled it all. And there it is. Left and... Oh boy, this is fine. I can handle it. I'm an adult. Hey people, I want to show you a different type of video today where I'm just going to be going for a perfect competitive Annihilate, but using Gen 3. I want to show you what that process is like, what it's like to get the Pokemon in Fire Red and send it all the way up to Scarlet and Violet. So I got my DS with me, I've got my Fire Red, my Heart Gold, my White, and then I've got my 3DS, which I'll need for the Gen 4 and 5 transfer. And then finally, I've got my Switch in order to send everything up. So I just want to show you what it's like to actually use RNG manipulation and a little bit of glitches, which I don't normally do on this channel, to get a 5 IV shiny competitive Mankey in Fire Red, and then send it all the way up and train it and see what that's like. And is it even worth it to do that? Let me know down below what you think, if that's even worth it to attempt, what you thought of the video. And we're going to time the whole thing, see how long it took me, and see, you know, if it's worth it. I hope you guys enjoy. All right, so at the end of the day, my goal here is going to be to try and get a 5 IV shiny Jolly Mankey in Fire Red that I can send all the way up to my copy of Scarlet, and I can use it in Wi-Fi battles, even like Reg D and stuff. So I'm going to just see how long it's going to take me to do all of that stuff within Gen 3 with all of the tools at my disposal, which is mostly just RNG manipulation and some glitches. All right, let's start live split and see how long this is going to take. So the first thing I got to do is determine what Mankey I'm going to be aiming for. And I don't mean that in the sense of like run around and find a Mankey. I mean literally like RNG legality wise, what Mankey am I aiming for? The first thing we're actually going to do is find Mankey in Fire Red. And PokeFinder has this handy feature called Encounter Lookup that you can click, and then it lets you just type in what Pokemon you want, and it will tell you where you can find it, which is really handy. You don't have to go to like any external websites or something of the sort. It's just built into PokeFinder, which is awesome. From there, we're going to click Gen 3 Wild, and I'm going to click the Searcher tab. At this point, I'm going to start putting in the stats that I want for my end result Mankey, which is perfect for everything except for special attack. Then for ability, I believe I want ability 0, which will be Vital Spirit. Annihilate doesn't always run it, but I can't get a hidden ability in Gen 3 that didn't exist yet, so then everything else doesn't matter except nature. You'd think shininess would matter, but it's not going to matter yet. I'm going to make it shiny with some glitches. So we're going to click Jolly here. And then we're going to set the location. We were told routes 3, 4, 22, and some other things. So we'll check route 3, we'll click Mankey, and we'll click search. Nothing has shown up here. Okay, we're going to try again on route 4. The reason it's important to try other routes is if you'll pay attention to the encounter slots here. See, nothing spawned here. When I switch to route 22, they're going to be different. So it's always good to check all of the areas. Click search. All right, perfect. We have our target Mankey. But what does this info mean? Well, if we take a look, we have seed and PID. These are the important things here. Seed tells me effectively when in the game the Mankey spawns, and the PID tells me what my trainer ID and secret ID need to be to get my Pokemon shiny. Let's first worry about the seed. So what I'm going to do is hit Control C here. Now, the seed is effectively where you're at in the game. While the game is loaded, the RNG moves forward every 1/60th of a second. It moves by really quickly, and this number represents where you are in that big RNG loop. Now, the game doesn't actually use a 32-bit number like this as the starting point. It uses a smaller 16-bit number. And we need to see what the closest one of those is to this. So we need to basically find our starting point, you know, so be it. So there's a cool website called the 10 Lines. All hail the 10 Lines. It is our savior, which basically allows you to paste in your 32-bit seed. And then when you click submit, it will tell you the 10 closest 16-bit seeds to your 32-bit seed. So as you can see here, the closest one is A548 with only a 1,463 advanced weight, which is pretty nice. Now, how do we hit this seed? Or how do we know if we can hit this seed? Fire Red uses a very weird system to find the initial seed. And it's basically just a brute force lookup that my friend Xiao and I have worked really hard to compile. So I'll just go to this spreadsheet that I've compiled. It's public. It basically tells you when in Fire Red 1.0 or 1.1 doesn't matter. You have to press A at the title screen in order to find a seed. So what we're going to do is check to see if there's any seeds possible here for me to hit. So I believe it was A548. So we'll copy that. I'll Control F and I'll paste that there. Now the seed spreadsheet is really big. There's literally thousands and thousands of seeds possible. So it might be here, it might not be here. But if it's not here, there's actually a few tricks we can pull to make sure that we're able to hit it. Okay, it came up with 0 searches. You might think that's really bad, we can't hit the Mankey. Well, not exactly. You see, if you hold the select button down, the seed actually will decrease by 1 when you launch the game. So if we search for A549, and that's there, then we can actually use that. And there it is. So we have to wait 3,945 advances at the title screen, which is, quite a long time, but it's not a big deal. So now we've confirmed this Mankey exists and we can hit it. But how do we make it shiny? Well, we need to figure out what trainer ID and secret ID make this shiny. And then we're going to change it with a thing called arbitrary code execution, which is a glitch that basically lets you do anything. So the way arbitrary code execution works is that when you get into a battle and you use this special glitch move that I've put onto the Crobat here, it will use the box names as ARM assembly code, and then it will just do whatever you want really. And I can change the box names to be a code that changes my trainer ID and my secret ID. So if we take a look at flank here, my trainer ID is 57581. We're going to change that to be some other stuff. So how do we figure out what secret ID we need? Well, PokeFinder actually has a feature for this, but it is bugged. So we're going to use a calculator. So if we take a look in a normal calculator and we set this to programmer mode, what we're going to do is type out what trainer ID we want. So I want this to be 623. I like this number. It's my birthday. Then what we're going to do is click the hex button here when we're in programmer mode. I'm going to click bitwise. I'm going to click exclusive OR, and I'm going to type the first 4 digits of the PID, which is 67A6. Then we're going to click bitwise XOR again, and we're going to do D16E. D16E. I'm a little bit slow here because I'm a little bit dyslexic, so I don't want to type the numbers in the wrong order. And if we click enter in decimal, this is what we want. So now we know what secret ID we want, or we can get if our trainer ID is 623 to be shiny. How do we figure out the ace code for this though? Well, luckily there's a very simple answer, and it is once again a website. It is eShark Ace Generator online, and then if you click Fire and Leaf Green here, you can click change TID and SID code, and all you have to do is put what TID and SID you want in decimal, and it will just generate some box codes for you. So I want 623 as my trainer ID, and the secret ID we determined was 46247, and click compute, and it will come up with box names for us. So now all we have to do is name our box names these things and run the code. So let's go and do that right now. We have to find box 1. I believe this is box 1 because the Umbreon is always in the last box here. Is this already the right thing? N space UNW. Weird. The first box name is actually already correct from a previous code I've typed. N space UNWRKN. Very convenient. I didn't use this code anytime recently, so we could just move along. And now we're in the exit code territory. These 3 codes, pretty much always going to be the same, these last 3 here. It's got to do with some of the more technical stuff, so we can just kind of ignore all that stuff, and I'll leave that to be. Now at this point, I always save the game before running the code. So I'm gonna save, because if you get a single character wrong in any of this, game goes kaplutskis. In addition, when you're running Ace, you got to make sure animations are on. Battle scene. Okay, perfect. So if we'll take a look, again, my trainer ID right now is 57581. We'll get into a battle, run the glitch move, and we'll see what it turns out as. All right. use a move. Don't worry about that. Just totally normal. Nothing to see here, folks. All right, now let's check my trainer ID. So we can see it's 623. You can't actually see your secret ID, hence the secret part. But we can assume that we did it right since there was no crash and we got it. So we can save afterward. It's going to be hard to verify without saving, so we'll just do that, and we'll assume everything got right. All right, cool. Now we need to get to Route 22 so we can actually start the RNG process. Luckily, it's nearby. I flew 4 steps up. That's fine. All right, let's get over there. Oh, we also need to make sure we have a sweet center. I do have Oddish with me, and you need to make sure you have a way to capture it. I intend to use a Master Ball because I'm a Wait, this is Route 22. I didn't realize this was Route 22. Well, everybody uses this grass, but I feel as though it would be fun to use this grass. Now, at this point, we know what initial seed we need to aim for and when. So we know when all of our A presses are going to occur. We have the right trainer ID and secret ID. Now we just need the tools to actually push the buttons. First of all, we need another tool that is similar to PokeFinder. A lot of people mix it up with PokeFinder, but it's not. It's called Gen 3 Seed Assistant. It looks like this. It was made by my friend Papa Hefe. It is a fork of PokeFinder. It does exactly one thing, and it is just kind of like a weird version of the generator, basically. So we're going to be using this to sort of hone in on our target. In addition to that, we're going to need my website to generate the timer. So if we go to blisy.net, we can click tools, and then we can click flow timer converter. That's what we're going to need here. So the first thing we need to do is take a look at the Gen 3 spreadsheet and see when this occurs. What is that? This is 394 frames, but like, what is that in milliseconds? Because that's what my timer uses. So the way we can find that is either in the main page here. The problem is the main page is a little bugged right now, and it doesn't like go all the way down. Yeah, so I'm gonna need to find one that goes all the way down. So what we need to do is go into raw seed data 7980. So we need to look for this seed in the main window. I think this is it. So it looks like if we're doing NDS-GBA, this is going to be our initial timer that we're going to click. So Control C that, paste that as intro timer in MS here. Now for all this other stuff, FireRed 1.0, 1.1, I believe I'm on 1.0. The way you can check is if you go into the Pokedex and you look at the Pokemon, it's easy to just go on like Squirtle or something. So let's take a look at Squirtle. So Squirtle, you can see, is called the tiny Pokemon. It's actually supposed to be the tiny turtle Pokemon. 1.0 fixes this, and it's called the tiny turtle Pokemon there. So if Squirtle is the tiny Pokemon, or I believe Pidgey also is listed as the tiny Pokemon. Yeah, this is supposed to be tiny bird. So if this is the tiny Pokemon or Squirtle's the tiny Pokemon, there you go. Okay, select your console. I'm playing on a Nintendo DS. Method, we are actually sweet scenting outdoors. First advances, ignore that. Encounter advances, we got that from the 10 lines, which is this right here. So we right click copy, paste that there. Click the calculate button. This gives us an output for a program called Flow Timer. This is a timer developed for speedrunners who don't really need to adjust their timings, so it doesn't actually have like an interface to adjust if you missed or anything. That's why I've made this whole external app on my website just to make sure that, you know, you can actually update and calibrate and things like that. So now we have our actual proper timer. We're almost ready to just grip it and rip it, as it were. So the thing I'm going to be doing is what is called calibration. And basically what that means is, like, the timer I've got here, this intro timer, it's not going to be exact. And the reason it's not going to be exact is for a number of things. A, our timing estimations in this document could be off, right? We had a robot effectively hitting A here. So a robot much more precise than a human being. In addition to that, your timing as a human, your reaction time, how you perceive the timer, how you perceive the game is going to vary compared to how I do all of those things. So these are never going to be exact. So what we need to do is figure out, well, okay, are we hitting the seeds that we want? And so the way we do that is by grabbing, I don't know, a bunch of these seeds. I'll go, we're at 4.5. I'll go up to 7.5. I'll click that. I'll scroll all the way down, back past 4.5, back down to like 1.5. Hit shift, And what we're going to do is copy all of these. So I'm going to hit Control C. In the Enter Seeds box, I can paste all of the seeds here. Perfect. For the method, we're going to click a method H1. In PokeFinder, it's called Wild One. That's just because Jeff has not updated the tool in a little bit, and PokeFinder has changed the name for that specific thing. Okay, at this point, what we're going to do is type Mankey. Monkey. We'll leave the nature open. This is going to be for when we hit a Pokemon to see where we landed. Then we're going to make sure we have everything set. So this is a little bit longer than usual. We're going to click Fire Red. We're going to click Route 22. Where is that at? Bink. We're not going to click anything else here. We're going to enter our trainer ID and secret ID. So that's 623. I actually forgot the secret ID that I input. It's this. So put that there. Scoop on over. All right, now we're pretty much ready to begin the calibration process here. Oh, and we also have to update this. So our target advances is like 1463, I believe. All right, and at this point, we can start. On the GBA, on the DS screen, you're gonna press A at the same time as you press start and flow timer. And now all we do is wait. We push no buttons here. Now, if you remember, I did say you got to press select to get the seed that we want. But what we're doing right now is calibrating. If we can hit the target seed of like A549, if we can hit that successfully, or we're relatively close to it, then we know that we can hit that. And because we know that we can hit that, we are going to easily be able to know that we can hit the actual target while holding select. And then once we do that, once we're calibrated, we'll actually start using the select button. Press A at the title screen. Oh, you know what? That was actually something I should have checked. You always have to be careful of blunders. See, look at this. So there's a few things I already forgot to do, which is totally normal. So it says mono, LA, start are the settings, right? Down here. So mono is what the sound setting is. So there's mono for stereo. L equals A is what we need to do. And then instead of hitting A at the title screen, I need to hit start at the title screen. Good thing I remember to do that, because otherwise this would have taken a lot longer. But you have to be always careful of those types of things. I feel as though I was early on my seed there, but we'll see. Sometimes you could just get a feel from how you're pushing the buttons that day. Let's see. So we're likely going to have to catch whatever shows up again, because we're just not going to be able to know off the top of our head what we got. So let's see. All right, we changed it to Spearow. Spearow is a male this time. I don't know if Spearow has 2 abilities. It only has Keen Eye, so we don't know what ability it has. Its nature is Impish, so we can put that in there. 5, 19, 11, 8, 7, 8, 13. Oh, it's because this one isn't also Impish. You need 2 Impishes in this. Calculate, and we hit search. We have found nothing. This is bad, as it said. Now, what we could do is check some of the other methods. Sometimes they spawn here. And methods H, so they don't do that. So we are probably actually farther off. We had seed 7 for A, and advances 1485. So we were a little bit late. Where is 7 for A? Okay, so 7 for A is way early. B7C3. So we just need to look up where BC73 is. So we hit this intro timer. Type that in. We hit that. We hit that. Oof. Oofa. All right. Hopefully we're locked and loaded at this point. All right. Let's see. Hopefully we're cooked on our seed. We're ready to go. You can't tell unless you catch them, so that's the hard part about Fire Red, as it's the only way to verify what's going on. I covered up the timer there. It doesn't really matter. I focus on the audio cues. I think that's the best way to go about it. All right, we see a Mankey. It's level 2, so it's going to be a little bit difficult for us to tell. At this point, If I ever have candies, that's my only solution. I don't really want to do it, but I think I have some. Well, by some, I mean plenty. Hey, that's the benefit of glitches, people. Use glitches to check. This is where my problem was. So, what was happening here was, I was looking up on Sarah B what ability Mankeys have in Gen 4. You can see it has Vital Spirit as the first ability and Anger Point as the second ability. But in Gen 3, Anger Point doesn't exist. So Vital Spirit is always ability. It's always both abilities. And it could be either ability 0 or ability 1. So we found what we hit. We hit the exact, we hit 2 advances late, what we were aiming for, and seed E9D1 is what we hit. Which I actually think is relatively close to our target. In fact, it's only 1 seed early. So I think we're now ready for the real thing. I'll put this info in to calibrate, but it cannot, it's, you know, it's not a huge deal. So all right, we should now be really close to our target. So I'll update the flow timer, hopefully for a final time. And now what we need to do is actually get these seeds to be what we want them to be. And so you could usually just use Google Sheets to convert that for you. What I do is I paste all of these bad boys here. Then I do next to this B1. So this is going to convert this number into a decimal number. Oh, actually, plus 1's fine. Yeah, so we do the +1. I've realized I've done +1. I needed to do -1. I've soiled it all. What we're going to do is get rid of all this. Get rid of all this. I'm going to do -1. Again, caught it in time. See, this is the way to do it. See, now they're all normal. Now we do equal C des2 hex C1. There we go. Copy it like that. There we go. I knew there was a way to do this, right? There we go. There we go. There we go. So our target seed is like A548. So what we have to do now is actually aim for our target, hold select the entire time. Hopefully we can get this stuff going, and hopefully we just see a shiny sparkle pretty quickly. So what I'm going to do is I'm already holding the select button on my DS, right? I'm just going to start. You can't see it, but I'm just pushing the button right now. So I'm holding select. I'm hitting A and start at the same time. And here we go. So I'm hitting start here to confirm my seed. There we go. Now, if I get, if I'm A, very skillful, and B, a little bit lucky, we'll get the Mankey. Oh, we didn't get the Mankey. That's fine. So what we now want to do is, because we're actually aiming for our proper seeds, we're gonna really want to start calibrating this stuff here. Hit the calculate button. Hit the search button. All right, we hit seed FF1A. That's 1 seed late. We were 3 advances early. No big deal. At this point, it is a matter of gripping it and ripping it until we're able to get it. So hold select, start. Nope. I messed it up. That's probably a better seed press. And there it is. A shiny level 3 female Mankey. Surely this is the one that we're aiming for. Awesome. That disgusting, horrible green that I kind of like anyway. Honestly, I didn't think that was going to be the attempt. What shall I nickname her? You know what? Annihilate is someone who gets mad. So we'll go with the stereotypical, we'll go with Karen. So you can see the nature is correct. Jolly. What we have to do is calculate the stats here. Because if we don't calculate the stats, it could be one of the other methods. So the thing about the other methods is the personality value of method H1, 2, and 4 are always the same, but the IVs are not. So I could have technically hit the correct advance on a different method, which is unfortunately just a luck roll. So it would be uncommon for me to hit something other than H1, but we'll see. What we can do now is to fully verify, because I have put in some levels. Check H2. Nothing shows up. Check the other method. Nothing shows up. Boom. So we definitely have the correct Mankey here. Now, luckily, / unfortunately, we don't need to worry about any moves at all because they deleted transfer moves. So we don't have to worry about that. So we just need to put Mankey in the PC so I can transfer it up to Gen 4. So now we're going to go on the journey of actually transferring this thing all the way up to Scarlet and Violet. see what that's like, see how difficult or easy that is. All right, we are in Heart Gold, and it is time to try and do the little bit of transferring. I think Heart Gold is the best one for this, or Soul Silver, it doesn't really matter. Just because you don't have a limit on how many you can do in per day. In Platinum and all the Sinnoh games, it's 1 per day. We got 6, we will transfer them. All right, and we gotta go catch them. I don't know where, oh, I'm in the Elite Four in this game. All right, we just gotta, we gotta lose. I think oh, Boise. Luckily, I'm very weak at this point. I shouldn't need a surfing situation. The one thing about the Pal Park is you never know where these guys live. Come to me, Porygon. I believe a lot of these guys are going to be in the mountains. I suspect both Mankey and Golem are going to be up here, but maybe I'm wrong. Goron. Yeah, that's what I thought. I didn't pick a Golduck, did I? I intentionally chose not Golduck. No, surely Mewtwo's in the regular grass, not in the cave, right? There's Karen, as she were. You're in Gen 4, buddy. And Mewtwo's always found in caves, pretty much. So... yeah. But, nope, here we are. Do I get a berry? What do I get? I get a Pinap berry, yay! Yes, I would love to put them in the PC boxes. Look at Karen in Gen 4. So here's the interesting thing about the way the abilities work in this thing is I have Vital Spirit. Now, Mankey can only have Vital Spirit in Gen 3, but it can have Anger Point in Gen 4. However, it would still have Vital Spirit even if I transferred it up and the ability was supposed to be Anger Point. But if I evolve it into a Primeape here and it was supposed to have Anger Point, it would actually switch to Anger Point. Because on evolution, the game looks at the personality value, which is what determines the ability, and it reassesses. It says, hey, wait, it's supposed to be this ability, not this ability, and it'll fix itself. But luckily, eventually, when you get along this chain far enough into Gen like 7 or 6, I think they stopped doing this. So even if this was the wrong ability, because it's only Vital Spirit, I'm actually able to not evolve it in this game. I'll just evolve it in Scarlet and Violet. There will be no fuss. We're just going to save and we're going to move on to the Gen 4 to 5 transfer. We need to, in white version, oh, this is going to bother me. My DSs are the opposite of how they are on the screens. And my computer monitor, they're on the left and, oh boy, that's fine. I can handle it. I'm an adult. Okay, so I believe I have to go to the transfer laboratory. You can't actually fly to the transfer lab, which is what we would call lame. But that's fine. Into the transfer lab. It is crazy that this requires 2 DSs. However, I do much prefer this to having everything on the cloud and the transfer eventually being cut off permanently. Some would say that is not a good thing to have happen. And I click the DS download play. I used to be really bad at this game. And I still am, but I used to be too. Gaddy, noise. All right. You could actually not transfer all of them if you only catch one and then let the time run out, but I don't think that's worth it. All right, so now what we can actually do is this is going to be the, I mean, you know, I'm technically already 100% sure that the Mankey's correct, but we can go to the stats judge there, and that's the easiest. It is an Imbasa. I thought it was an Imbasa, but then I was doubting myself. We can actually use it. This is the first stats judge that isn't like super annoying to use, so I can show you for real that it's actually correct. Because this dude will tell you all the stats at the same time. The Fire Red has no stats judge. Emerald has a stats judge, but he only tells you one stat and it's random. And then Heart Gold and Soul Silver, they will tell you it, but it's one at a time. Like, so you have to talk to them 5 times if you have 5 perfect stats. So this one will just tell you all 5. HP, attack, defense, special defense, speed. Perfecto. All right, now we put this back in the PC box and we send it to Gen. It's not even going to enter Sun and Moon or Ultra Sun and Moon now, is it? This is going to go directly into bank, into home. It would be pretty much what is occurring here. Okay, we got my 3DS, my white version. I will put that in there. And this is the only 3DS that I have that actually has access to Pokemon Bank. The box is moved. No, thank you. I'm hoarding those as long as I have the ability to. That would be in transport box. All right, now we're gonna be able to send her into Pokemon Home, which I'm gonna have to set up now as well. Let's get into Home, open up Bank, and finish up this adventure. Now the Home to Bank transfer is a little bit slow, but it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Let's organize. We'll connect it to Scarlet so we can get the monkey in there. The moves don't matter. Like maybe I can do, yeah, see, like none of these matter. Because none of these matter, we're just gonna get out of here. We'll just save. This is just meant for a, I don't know how good it is in Reg D, but the Scarf Final Gambit set is always funny. And, you know, I don't think it's ever awful. You know, even if I wanted to use it in like a draft league or something like that. And in addition, it's like, it's not like you can't easily alter with the mints or, you know, other things, the EV spread of the Pokemon that you want. But I think the Final Gambit set is like by far the most troll. And so that's the one I'm going with. You gotta love load times. And by gotta love them, I mean, you don't. What's going on? Where am I? First of all, let's take a look skis at our, there's Karen. So you can see amazing stats all around. There she is. All right, so first things first, let's evolve. All right, we're gonna want to get this to a pretty high level. Usually above 50 will be fine. Yes, we want close combat here for that. Oh, Gambit, yes sir. This is the main situation for this Pokemon. Evolving into a monkey. Whoa, I actually think Primeape Shiny looks kind of good in this game. The red, the tint of Primeape's fur is a lot more defined. I don't think it looks bad at all. Then, we want to see, do I have the TMs for the other moves I need? I need U-turn. Don't know if I have any. I also don't know when it, oh, I do. I have exactly one, so we'll put you there. I also don't know how you learn Rage Fist. You know what? It might have already learned Rage Fist. It might have evolved too late. So what we can do is go, try and change the moves here. Yeah, sure. I was going to say, surely it knows Rage Fist. The moveset's done. We'll do all the PP ups now because all the moves are already correct. This is so tedious. I don't understand why they don't let you buy PP maxes. Like, well, there's not really no reason to PP. I'm actually going to stop doing it. It's literally wasteful to do it on Final Gambit because that's a move that KOs the user. And while it's not going to be necessary on a move like U-turn, where it's like, you know, are you going to click? Are you really going to ever click U-turn 32 times, especially in a VGC battle? Probably not. But you know, it doesn't hurt, right? You know what? I don't need to do it, but it's bothering me if I don't do it. I know it's literally wasteful to do it, but having Final Gambit be 7 out of 8 bothered me a lot. I don't know why. Okay, so we just need to buy vitamins, and we need to use Rage Fist 20 times in battle. Here we go. Interesting. We'll just leave her there. I'm sure she's fine. All right, HP up, Carbos, protein. Karen is now fully EV trained. Now we just need to go into a battle. So we get 16 of these. Ooh, you know what? And the thing is, the Terra, well, you know, this is a Suicider. The Terra probably doesn't matter. Though I don't know, actually. Smogon has it listed that it should be Terra Grass. I guess so it can't be outsped and spored. Boy, howdy, do I wish I could turn animations off. But, you know, the gods over at Game Freak have decided, nope, that's not for us. We don't get to do that. Karen, no! I wonder if it's worth it to spend the Terra. Like, this is another thing that separates hacking from legitimate play. Like, if you're able to hack, you know, it is a no-brainer to do Terra Grass on the Annihilate, right? It's just simply a no-brainer. And in fact, I should probably do an ability capsule on this bad boy, or bad girl, excuse me, Karen. But you know, if you're hacking, it's a no-brainer to do the Terra Grass because you're not running Vital Spirit, right? You're running Defiant to protect from Intimidate. Those type of optimizations are like much on a team-by-team basis, right? The Terra type of my Annihilate is going to be, you know, largely based on what my teammates require. Like, do I ever think I'm going to be terraing this thing, right? Is that a possibility? Do I think I need defense against Intimidate? Do I anticipate me not clicking Final Gambit that often? Do I want, how many modes for this thing do I want? Do I want it to be able to absorb the Intimidate, click U-turn, get out of there, Final Gambit later? Like, what do I want to do for it? And that is stuff I haven't necessarily decided yet. But luckily, the Final Gambit set is largely the same no matter what I'm doing. And so it does leave room for customizations for Terras later. But because I'm not hacking, I don't have the luxury to just instantly decide, okay, you know what? It's fine if I set it up as Terra Grass and don't do Vital Spirit, right? It's fine if I do that. All right, I believe that's 20. I should be able to just pop. I don't actually, it's so close to leveling up, I might be able to just get away with like a few extra smalls. Karen's evolving. Yes, Karen. Wait. That's its shiny? I can't believe I spent 2 hours on this.